Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Empowering Morning Conversations. And let us continue to work on a topic which is of great significance to us. See, we are dealing with interferers that do not allow us to live to our full potential. And the biggest interferer of them all is our conflict strategy, because whatever is your automatic conflict behavior, that defines you. It creates perceptions about you among people, and people will treat you the way they perceive you. So once you have an understanding of what are the consequences of your automatic conflict behavior, then you may choose to change it to a behavior which works for you. All right. So today, and again, I think a quick reminder might be useful. Why should we do all these things? I mean, why should you be dealing with your interferers? Simple reason, so that you can have a life of ease, joy, and glory. So just say with me a couple of times, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And let it sink into you. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. So once that gets into you, it also becomes very clear why, we want to shift from the survival mode to the create mode. Survival is what we have to do every day in order to survive, and create is creating a life that we desire. And all this negativity that we keep on picking up pushes us further and further into the default mode. So getting out of that, becoming a person who's always seeking possibilities rather than only complaining. So instead of finding out why something cannot be done, why is something keeping you fixed and stuck, you are looking for, how should I find a way to solve this problem? And we will then increase our focus and energy, and we will use it to create a life that we desire. So we've already shared with you the performance formula, so I'm not going to repeat too much of that. All right, quick look at all our interferers, and you know that you have a personal strategy. You also know that when you get engaged in a conflict, there are two things you have to take into account. One, that you have a goal that matches with somebody else's goal. And sometimes you have a conflict with yourself when your heart wants something and your mind wants something else, right? And your goal or your desire, I'm going to use the word desire here. When your desire is strong, then you will be behaving differently. If your desire is weak, then obviously you will behave differently. Second factor is keeping a good relationship with the other person. Now, how important is your personal goal to you and how important is your relationship to you will affect how you act in a conflict situation. So there are 5 styles. We looked at the turtle, we looked at the shark, we looked at the teddy bear, right? And we looked at the fox who is compromising. And you know that all of these 4 behaviors that you have, you know that 1 or 2 of them are dominant. I'm going to keep you muted, Hasina ji. So when you want to speak, you can unmute. So there are those consequences, because see, one kind of behavior will win you support. One kind of behavior will take you closer to achieving your dreams and your objectives. Other kind of behavior, yes, Ashok ji, please go ahead. Your hand is raised. Somebody's hand was raised. You can talk. Please unmute yourself. Hello. Okay. So coming back, certain behavior causes more interferers to come in life. Certain conflict behaviors. Yeah, Ashokji, now you can say what you want. The person who's using iPad, who had raised his hand, would you please speak? Hello, we cannot hear you. All right, so whenever he is able to speak, he can raise his hands again and talk. So all these behaviors will not allow you to have supportive relationships, nurturing relationships, people who on the long run will be with you to help you fulfill your goals and objectives and your desires. So is there a better type of conflict behavior? Yes, there is. So let's look at that today. And this is a type called the owl. Okay. Just a name given to it, the wise owl of Europe, or the owl who is the Lakshmiji Savari. Confronting. Owls highly value their own goals and relationships. So what's the difference between this guy and the fox? The fox moderately values their goals and relationships. The fox is willing to give up part of his goals and willing to give up part of his relationship, whereas the owl is 100% committed to their goals and 100% committed to their relationship. Now, how wonderful is that? The owl will not compromise. The owl will not shy away from discussing about the conflict. That is why we are saying confronting. He is willing to confront the situation. He is willing to face the situation. So what does the teddy bear do? He will not discuss because he feels that there will be conflict. If there is a conflict, then there will be lack of harmony. Whereas the owl is not afraid of that. The owl is willing to sort out the conflict. But the way the owl wants to sort out the conflict is not like a shark. See, owl is also 100% committed to his goal. But the shark will do anything to achieve his goal. The shark is willing to make the other person lose in order to achieve his goal, whereas the owl is not willing to do that. He is going to 100% be committed to his goals, and he is 100% committed to the relationship also. So the owl, they view conflicts as problems to be solved, and they seek a solution that achieves both their own goal and the goal of the other person also. Interesting, isn't it? Here is a guy who completely wants a win-win situation. He says, I win, you win, we both win, and we will maintain the relationship. Here is a person who is not interested in competition. He is interested in collaboration. Even in the world of business, he will not do competition, he will do co-optation. So this kind of a person will never do to bring somebody down in order to win. दूसरे को हरा के खुद जीतने की इसके अंदर कोई इच्छा नहीं होता है. वो कहता है मैं भी जीतूंगा, तुम भी जीतोगे, हम दोनों जीतेंगे और रिश्ता भी बरकरार रहेगा. So naturally, the relationship that the owl has with a conflict is not a bad one. He says, all right, conflicts are something which happen in life. And for the owl, a conflict is a way of improving relationships. See, you look at what teddy bear does. He will not even discuss the conflict with a hope that the conflict will go away. Actually, it becomes worse. Whereas the owl is very clear. The conflict is an opportunity. The owl believes that every experience is an opportunity. So he believes that a conflict is a way of improving relationships. Because when you are working and openly discussing and having a conversation, you have a chance to take out from the root whatever is causing the problem. So they will have a discussion with the other person. Very interesting discussion. They will talk to the other person and show him that the problem is the same for both parties. Yeah. The problem is affecting the other party, and equally the problem is affecting myself. So we are not a problem for each other. The problem is a problem for both of us. So we should work together and remove the problem, because the problem causes, the conflict causes problem for both of us. So that's how they start the conversation. And they will start a conversation also by, making the other person realize the value of the relationship. They will also identify, along with the other person, the long-term implications of the conflict continuing. So by seeking solutions that satisfy themselves and the other person, owls maintains the relationship. And the owl is not satisfied until a solution is found that achieves their own goal and the other person's goal. And they are not satisfied until the tensions and the negative feelings have been fully resolved. How interesting is that? So he is the true collaborator. It's
very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting and very useful. And the thing is, it is not easy to be an owl in this world, isn't it? So my question to all of you is, and this one, please participate and answer the question also. The fellow who needed to hear this has now joined. So he missed out. So Tiaguddin, welcome. I'm sorry you are a little late. We finished covering the 5th conflict strategy. So you'll have to watch the video to catch up on it. So question to everybody now is that if you want to inculcate the owl strategy in your life, what kind of qualities do you require to develop? What kind of a person will be someone who is a true collaborator, a person who wants a solution where both parties are equally satisfied, both parties achieve their goals, and then they maintain the relationship. What qualities such a person would have, or what qualities such a person would have to develop in himself? So now I want you to say. Yes, Reddy Garu.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I strongly feel that you have to be in allowance.
So he or she would have to be in allowance. And to be in allowance, what else would you need? I mean, what kind of a person can be in allowance? Okay, while you're thinking, let's have Neeti speak.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody. So,
Morning.
to be in allowance and to fulfill the role as an owl, I would need to have a broader approach to the situation, looking at a 360-degree view versus a one-sided view or even a two-sided view, because there is always a third and a fourth side also. And see what impacts the various sectors in which way. So taking a much broader approach to the problem, in addition to it, believing that there is a solution ahead. It may not be visible where I stand today, but there is a solution possible, looking for that possibility and making that possibility happen, turning it into the right opportunity.
True.
And that would need an enterprising approach.
Yeah, there is always a solution. Thank you, Neeti. And thank you, Reddy Garu. Yes, Shakti.
So we should, both person will be in this. How can I make it possible for both of us? That
Great.
approach. Yes.
Yeah, approach is fine. I'm asking you what kind of qualities this owl person should have.
Relevance and courage, ready to face that, whatever it comes.
Allowance and courage. Okay,
Yes.
what else? Let's listen to other people also. What kind of qualities would such a person require?
So that person should be able to see the importance of his goals and the importance of other person's goals, and also how he looked at the relationship and the other person, how the other person also looked at the relationship.
Yeah.
And there should be a win-win. He should create a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the other person would not agree for that. Agree.
The owl is a person who always wants only a win-win solution. You understand? The person who has a conflict strategy of an owl always wants a win-win solution. Great, thank you. Yes, Vetrivel.
Sir, owl person will have a mastery over communication, meaning he is a good listener, he is also a good speaker.
Yes, beautiful. That's a very, very important point, because if he has, see, a person who wants to communicate, first, what is the foundation of communication? The willingness to accept another person's point of view without changing it. You know, so Neeti said that he should be willing to look at different points of view. He can do that only if he listens. And he's willing to accept another person's point of view. Great, thank you. Yes, Kunal.
Yes, sir. Very good morning. In addition to what has been shared here, I think very high level of consciousness is required with complete empathy. And from the corporate perspective, I believe that the clarity of vision, long-term planning, the team management. So a sort of approach looking forward from the long-term perspective, and very much willing to manage the disagreement, or ready to observe, reflect on the different points of views, and then create a harmony, balance, and then moving forward. That's what I'm getting, sir.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you very much. So one quality which nobody has mentioned is patience. You think a reactive person can become an owl? See, if the person is reactive and he has a tendency to resist anything that does not fit into his own viewpoint, can such a person become an owl? No. So he has to have patience. He will certainly have to be a good listener, only then he will know the other person's point of view. And all the other points enumerated by all of you,
And he
very
should be,
beautifully summed up by Kunan.
he has to be fair.
Yeah,
Being
what is the
fair.
meaning of fair? Fair means I am on, I want to let you win also, I will also win. That's
Yeah.
called fair, no?
Yeah, that's being fair. Correct. Yeah.
Fair is that only. A person
Right.
who's fair is not wanting everything for himself.
Okay, okay. I got it.
Ah, very nice. Thank you very much. So now you look and see all these things we have been talking about in empowering morning conversations, right? If you start following them, will it make it possible for you to be an owl? It will. An owl never forgets what is the purpose of a relationship. Even in the world of business, you know, big business houses are beginning to realize years ago that when we get into conflict with each other, everybody suffers, profitability suffers, customer also eventually suffers. So when there is unhealthy competition among different players, how does it show up? Cost cutting, you know, undercutting each other. And there comes a point of time when your services are being sold so cheap that you cannot afford to provide good services. And you can see it happening in the telecom industry in India. There was a time when they used to always collaborate, play win-win with each other. Things were going fine. Then one shark entered into the water. An unhealthy competition started and it's affecting everybody. So now the game is different. Person who has a capacity to bear bigger losses, he will survive. Now this kind of attitude, you think it's going to work for you? Because you don't have billions of dollars in your pocket, right? So I love what Reddy Garu said. He started with allowance, you know. A person who is an owl, knows what is allowance. And he is in allowance. And he has a strong belief. Like somebody said, he believes in the outcome. He believes that a win-win solution is possible. He believes that the conflict can be resolved amicably. So now comes the question of, if you look at the so-called conflicts happening in your life today, you also know how you have been trying to deal with them so far. Do you honestly think that you're trying to deal with it like an owl? Or have you been dealing with it in some other manner, like a teddy bear or a shark or something? Yes, Reddy Garu.
Sir, in my business perspective, I always behave like a owl, sir.
And where is it that you don't?
Yeah, in other personal relationships and maybe relationship with people, there I don't.
Yeah. So don't you see, in the world of business, because money is involved, you are an owl.
Yes, sir.
But in personal life, is something involved? I mean, something at stake in personal life as well?
Yeah, definitely, sir.
Now, is it not worth investing in becoming an owl in these situations?
True, sir. True, sir.
Because, you know, I realized as I was talking to you that in one particular relationship in my life with one of my sons only, and I thought I was being an owl. And just now, 2 minutes back, I realized I was not being an owl because somewhere I did not believe it's possible to recover that relationship.
Sure.
So if you don't believe that it's possible, then you can be owl, teddy bear, whatever you want, it will not happen, no?
Yeah.
Because there's this such a history I've been trying for the last 7 years. You know, other person not responding, what should I do? Chalo, leave it. Then you become what? Then you become a turtle. You say, leave it.
Yeah.
I give up. I've tried my best. So life is a constant reminder, no, to all of us. So now you have seen all the 5 strategies. You have a choice. Okay. So what is your prime objective? To have a life of ease, joy, and glory. Only for you? If you only think about yourself, can you have a life of ease, joy, and glory? Never know. क्या तो सबका होगा, सबका क्या, सबका साथ, सबका विकास, or not at all. Because whatever you neglect in your life is going to be a thorn in your flesh. वो तो आपके कांटा बन जाएगा. You may ignore the pain of the kanta for some time, but eventually it's going to take its toll, I believe. All right, so what? Now what? So what? And now what? Important question. Yes, Kunen sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Just a thought, sir. Among these 5 types of conflict management,
Conflict behaviors.
conflict behavior or style, owl seems to be the best.
Yes.
But if it is required to manage conflicts through other behaviors in the corporate world or wherever there are conflicts, we can choose based on the situation or based on the nature of conflicts, isn't it?
Of course, the owl has all the qualities of a shark and all the qualities of a teddy bear also, no?
Mm.
Owl is not a weak person, Baba. The owl is a person who's not going to turn his cheek. If you slap him, he will hold the other fellow's hand and say, hello, mujhe bhi thappad marna aata hai beta. I'm not a weak person. See, that is why a person who is perceived as a weak person, he can never become an owl. Because nobody is going to take his word seriously, na? They'll say, क्या कर लेगा तू? मैं नहीं करता तेरे साथ win-win. क्या करेगा तू? So, don't make a mistake of thinking that the owl is a soft person or he's behaving always like a saint. He wants a win-win solution, but when he has to be firm, he will be firm. He will not be aggressive, but he'll be very assertive. So we need to really understand the fine distinction between assertiveness and aggressiveness. Tiakuddin, I am not going to answer your question today because you missed the entire explanation of this owl behavior. So I'll be explaining whole thing for you all over again. So what I suggest is you watch the video and you ask me your question tomorrow, I'll definitely answer it. But if you want to share something, I'm happy to hear you.
Yeah, I want to share
Go ahead.
questions. So what I felt is this all animal behaviors means all the symbolic behaviors are there, and it is dominating sometimes. I felt not only it is one is dominating all the time, especially in the time of any critical decision in your life, in your profession. Just I experienced this. Most of this one, even shark came, this fox came, and this all also want to make goal. I felt because win-win should be there in the critical moment, like just maybe partition in your life. This happening in my life now. So might be I want to be turtle because I don't want to spoil the relation. I felt this is the situation. So how to become all in that situation, or better to be all because we are managing ourselves. We are, managing our conflict behaviors. So I felt these all the symbols came in my mind when some moments. Well, it is happening many because
Okay, now can I talk to you? I mean, I've understood what you're saying, so you don't have to repeat yourself. See, the owl knows all the behaviors. See, the owl is not a situation dependent person. See, whatever you are saying, basically you're saying my behavior, my conflict behavior is depending on the situation. You check and see what you're saying. In some situation, I will become a teddy bear. In some situation, I'll become a shark. And in some situation, I'll become a turtle. So it's situation dependent, na, my friend. Now, if you're going to be any of those four, the old ones, teddy bear, fox, shark, turtle, then you're not going to have a win-win outcome. You understand? Like both parties winning or getting a result which is for the benefit of more people. That will never happen. Whereas the owl is not a person to be influenced by the situation. That is why all the qualities that we were talking about, he has. He has got patience, he has got listening, he never loses the big picture, he never loses sight of his goals and desires, he never loses sight of the fact that just like he wants to win, the other person also wants to win. So he really wants to know what's going on. But by being influenced by situation, he cannot be like that. Na? A person who is influenced by the situation can never be a noun. So let's keep that in mind also. Great. Thank you very much for bringing it up, Tiakuddin. And thank you for your sharing also. Yes, very well.
Sir, we get a higher clarity of being a owl and maintaining relationship and personal goals. I get one more perspective. How to move about it? What I'm getting is first lay down the foundation of relationship better so that you can build the personal goal stronger. If you go with first personal goal, no, sometimes things get clashed.
See,
Yes, sir,
let me
please.
tell you something. A person who wants to be an owl has worked hard to win the trust of people.
Thank you. Good.
Right? If people don't trust him, you think he can be an owl? People say, you are saying so many things. How do I know you'll do? I will do my part, you will not do. See, if tomorrow one politician comes and tells you, let us do win-win, will you believe him? Will you believe a politician if he says, let us do win-win? Because he's already done so many things that makes you feel that I cannot trust this fellow. So if you want to be a person who is trusted, then what kind of behavior you'll have to show in your life? That is the background relationship which Vetrivel is talking about. Am I right, Vetri? A background relationship with the other person where there is trust in that.
Exactly. Foundation.
Trust, allowance, all those things. He works like that. So people see him and respect him genuinely. People don't fear him. That's the kind of relationship he makes with people. That here is not a man to be feared, but here is a man to be taken very seriously. But when he says something, don't take it lightly because he does not use his words lightly. See, if you have a reputation that you always do what you say, why do you think the British were afraid of Gandhiji? He was like a bloody bulldozer, If he said something, he would do it. At any cost, he would do. If I said I will do this, he will do this. Yes, Niti ji.
Yes, sir. I think you just explained what I was wanting to say, that an owl has to display very high integrity to the point that in life, number of times exhibit the single man army character in themselves, because If I believe in a principle, if I believe in a possibility, even if I have to stand alone and avail it, I will do it because I believe in it and I know it is going to give the outcome. So that high level of personality display has to come forth for people to believe that as a conflict handler or a collaborator or a personality, I have that in me.
Yeah, that perception, among people that he's a committed fellow, he does what he says. That's integrity, no? When they say that, look, this is not a person to be taken lightly. If
Even
he's
if
saying
you're
something,
standing alone, even if you're standing alone against all odds.
yeah. See, I'll tell you, when you choose a path which is different from others, there's so much opposition in the family, isn't it? And they're not really willing to support you initially. But if you keep going without damaging anyone and you keep trying to enroll them, they see that this guy is serious about this. He means it. And eventually they will join hands with you. I've seen this happen in my life. Now, when the time comes to stand with you, they will. That's why I'm saying, what kind of qualities do we have to develop to become an owl? Yes, Kunen.
Yeah, I think just adding to Niti's ma'am feedback is very the clarity of moral values and ethics and understanding of self and others and the purpose of life, etc. That's should be consciously aware every moment. I mean, it's a sort of a very ideal personality, I believe, the owls.
Yeah, that is why it's difficult to be an owl, no? That is why you see so few owls around. They're rare, no? How many owls do you see? I mean, I don't mean that owl. Nowadays, that owl is also not to be seen.
Yeah. But the question coming to my mind, sir, like we mentioned, do we discuss about the shark, fox, turtle, teddy bear, owl? There are other animal instinct or animals are
See,
there.
we are making a broad classification based on behavior. Okay.
Okay. Like lion. Lion is considered to be.
We are not going into the animal kingdom. The scientists who are studying these behaviors now, they picked up these 4 symbolic animals to depict certain type of behavior. They could have used panther instead of a shark also, no?
Yep.
बहुत सारे एक ही कैटेगरी में आते हैं ना. क्रोकोडाइल भी उसी में आ जाता है. एनाकोंडा भी उसी कैटेगरी में आ जाता है. Also, there are, look, this is very interesting point that you have raised. Even in a shark, there are different degrees of shark. Yep. But you notice something, एक होता है situational. Like one person will not be a shark with his own family members. He'll be a shark outside. I have seen the other way around. The fellow is a very wonderful, what shall I say, teddy bear in the office. At home, he comes and becomes a total shark. So all of them are situational, but the owl is not situational. That is why we say he's a person of integrity. He stays true to his principle, chahe koi bhi situation ho jaye. That's what I think Niti means, an army of one. Dunya kuch bhi kare, maine jo bol diya, main to wahi karunga. Like traffic rules todte hain. A lot of people say, everybody is breaking the rule, I'll also break it. Shark says, let them break the rule if they want to, I'm not going to break it. A lot of businessmen say, कि भाई tax की चोरी सब करते, मैं भी कर लूँगा. I say, नहीं, मैं नहीं करूँगा, मेरी मर्जी. So, very important thing I just realized I'm talking to you is, first of all, to realize and perceive yourself as a strong person, you see. A person who keeps changing his behavior according to the situation, will he see himself as a strong person? Never. So if he is not himself seeing himself as a strong person, so is he going to come across as a strong person? अगर खुद ही अपने आप को शक्तिशाली नहीं मानता है तो दुनिया की नजर में आएगा ऐसे. कमजोर समझते हो अपने आप को तो कमजोर ही नजर आओगे ना लोगों को.
Yeah, just a thought, sir. What I was thinking, like, if you see the complete ecosystem the universe has created, so in the scripture what I have read, it said that human beings are ashraful makhluqat. Like in Urdu, it's the best creature. So the ecosystem whatsoever been developed, there could be some reflection of all the elements in the human being. So that way I was just trying to reflect, but thank you so much.
I also want you to reflect one thing, that the human being is the peak of evolution, the best of them all, right? All of them are supposed to serve him. But you know what he has started to do? He has started exploiting them. See, mankind has become a shark, so we are destroying this planet, isn't it? We have destroyed the environment. That is why now that, talks are going to happen on that island somewhere. It's a critical situation as far as the pollution is concerned. We have overexploited the resources of this planet for our own, comfort. So the greatest creation, when the greatest creation starts behaving like the shark with the rest of the nature, then there is a problem, na? Okay, one of the laws of the life is, sir, jaisa karoge vaisa bharoge. If you, as you give, you will receive. If you are a shark in life, so certain behaviors, if you do, you are called a shark. People will do the same with you, so you will live in fear then. So the delicate balance that is there in nature, we are disturbing it now by behaving like sharks. A person who throws kachara on the road is behaving like a shark. A fellow who spits on the road is behaving like a shark. A person who steals electricity by bypassing the meter is a shark. So there are many ways in which we are being sharks and we don't even realize it. It's a good question, Kunan sir. Vetrivel, you wanted to say something.
Just to add on some thoughts, sir. I mean, this is how, like, I'm thinking from the energetic being or energy being or energetically, because the ecosystem was over there. So all such kind of energies are available. So we might be definitely picking up shark sometime this, sometime that. So consciousness is very important to be aware that, oh, what's happening, what exactly I am, and then be in that the best state of creation and then take action. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, energetically, that's why we say 98% of your thoughts and feelings you're picking up from others. That is why we are saying, you come to EMC so that we don't get influenced by others, we influence them. So there is an exercise, remember? Who does this belong to? Who does this belong to? You know it's not your own. So we take care of that. Good point. Thanks for bringing it up. See, again, situational. If you get influenced by others, then you may not stay true to your own principles. No? Very good. Yes, very well. And by the way, today is Mr. Gopal Asthana's birthday. So even though he's not coming regularly, he's busy in Bombay. Maybe we can all join hands and wish him a very nice and happy birthday. All right, Vetrivel.
Quick share on a lighter note.
No,
We discussed in detail about owl type. Of course, we are all aiming to becoming that. But the virtual background says that this guy seems to be very romantic also.
Why not? Of course, the owl can be romantic, no? Just because he is an owl, he cannot be romantic. He is very romantic. Like anybody is romantic. Even Gaddafi was romantic.
And Vetri, if you want, how will you create another owl?
Exactly. Yeah, nature has made provision for everything. Yes, Tyaguddin. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought many things about this discussion. One thing, I felt it is a very learned person. One, and second, I thought it might be like a judge, but we can't go to the truth also. No, if judge is hearing here and deciding for good one for someone, that means judging also it will not suit. So he's a learned person and understanding and observing something and deciding. That's
Yeah,
one thing.
He's a
And-
learned person. Yes, he is a learned person. Great.
And another thing, it is not situational. So this animal symbolization is there in chronotype also. In the sleep behavior, there have 4. So I think it is entirely different also, but in the sleep pattern, it is different 4. This is behavior pattern is 4. So that also I just thought in difference.
Great.
And
Thank you. And before we close now, I'm going to close. Let's ask Kuldeep ji to give us a little bit of his shairi. We have the pleasure of his company, so let's make the most of it.
Thank you, sir. तो कहा कि हद शहर से चली तो गांव चली हद शहर बाउंड्री बियॉन्ड द बाउंड्री ऑफ सिटी हद शहर से चली तो गांव चली और कुछ यादें मेरे साथ पांव पांव चली सफर जो धूप का किया तो तजुर्बा हुआ सफर जो धूप का किया तजुर्बा हुआ और वो जिंदगी ही क्या जो छांव छांव चली
Wow. You want to translate that, sir?
Means when I went out of the boundary of city, I traveled in villages, and some memories, they accompanied me together. When I traveled in sun, I had an experience, and life has no thrill if it is always lived in comfort.
Yep. Beautiful. Thank you so much. All right. So who else? Vetrivel. First Vetrivel. Then Kunan. And Kamal, you want to say something before that?
Yeah, good morning, all.
Good morning.
So very interesting, sir, for all the different type of animals and pattern and behavior you told. I was never aware of that. अभी आगे से कोई मुझे उल्लू बोलेगा तो मेरे को शायद अच्छा भी लगे
क्योंकि ये वो वाला उल्लू नहीं है ना
ये वाला उल्लू नहीं है ये मेरा नजरिया होगा अच्छा नहीं एक शायरी जो है कुनैन जी के लिए बोलना चाहूंगा ना बहुत अच्छे क्वेश्चंस रहते हैं उनके पास कुनैन जी आपके लिए बहुत गुरूर है दरिया को अपने होने पर बहुत गुरूर है दरिया को अपने होने पर जो मेरे प्यास से उलझे तो धज्जियां उड़ जाए
अरे वाह 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 मेरे प्यार से उलझे तो धज्जियां उड़ जाए तो
जो मेरे प्यास से उलझे तो धज्जियां उड़ जाए
अच्छा आप इसकी ट्रांसलेशन भी कर दीजिए
ट्रांसलेशन बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है मेरे लिए थोड़ा सा
चलो आप फिर से बोलो हिंदी में
Please repeat. Yes, please. Thank you.
ओके बहुत गुरूर है दरिया को अपने होने पर
Okay, so the river is very proud of its distance.
जो मेरी प्यास से उलझे तो धज्जियां उड़ जाए
Yeah, if he messes with my thirst, he will be defeated. Closest, I mean, it's very impossible to accurately do it, but this is the closest I can think of. All right, great. Thank you so much. And Vetrivel.
Sir, today's kural is Gunanalam Sandor Nalane, Tiranalam Ennalathu Ulladum Andru. The good of inward excellence, they climb the perfect man, all other good is only good in name. Meaning goodness is the character of goodness, not the other welfares.
All right. Thank you very much. And Kunain.
काफी अच्छा शेयर था कमल जी, थैंक
बहुत
यू
बढ़िया।
सो मच। अर्ज किया है सर के इतना तो हौसला मेरे जज्बों को दे खुदा, इतना तो हौसला मेरे जज्बों को दे खुदा, मैं तलखी हयात का शिकवा ना कर सकूं। तलखी हयात is all the complaint and blame. हयात is life. जज्बा is will power, passion. इतना तो हौसला मेरे जज्बों को दे खुदा, मैं तलखी हयात का शिकवा ना कर सकूं। शबनम की तरह गिर कर भी खामोश रहूं। शबनम ड्यू, शबनम की तरह गिर कर भी खामोश रहूं, खुशबू की तरह दर्द का चर्चा न कर सकूं। खुशबू की तरह दर्द का चर्चा न कर सकूं। शबनम की तरह भी खामोश, गिर कर भी खामोश रहूं।
अब ट्रांसलेशन भी आप खुद ही कर लीजिए।
If may I request Niti ji or Hasina ji, that would be even better.
Hasina ji.
I'll try.
इतना तो हौसला मेरे जज्बों को दे खुदा।
हौसला,
हिम्मत,
determination.
हाँ, determination. God give me that determination. आगे बोलो, क्या बोले?
इतना तो हौसला मेरे जज्बों को दे खुदा।
Give me that kind of determination to my decision.
मैं तलखी हयात का शिकवा न कर सकूं।
तलखी हयात is what?
Life.
I don't complain about.
Yeah, difficulties or the problems.
Difficulty and problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, शबनम की तरह गिर कर भी खामोश ही रहूं।
If I fall like a dew and I am quiet.
Yeah. खुशबू की तरह दर्द का चर्चा न कर सकूं।
I don't complain like the scent of a flower.
Fragrance. So fragrance, you know, is
fragrance, right?
It's
right.
pressed out, and that's what.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Maybe Sukdeepak sir can translate better, but
I don't think I've done justice to it.
Thank you, Hasina ji.
Yeah, because you have to capture the essence of it. No?
Essence, yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Give me the determination. Give me such determination that I don't complain about the vicissitudes of life, right? I may fall gently like the dew, gently and quietly like the dew, right? And be the fragrance that never complains. I think that would come if I'm not mistaken. Venkateshi also has a share today. Wow, wow, wow. Venkateshi, please go ahead.
Actually, it's not the share. I am trying to explain what Kunain share actually means.
Okay.
Means actually the thing is, let me not complain. Let me not complain. Give me the strength to bear the thing, like the dews which fall have no complaints, whereas the smell whenever it is dirty are good. It spreads out. Smell is like gossip. Smell comes out. So it is considered as grumbling. You pass through a dirty street or somewhere, you have stink coming out, and you pass a flower shop, you get good smell. Means smell is always talking, and it is not like the rain dew which just falls and suffers whatever comes its way.
Wow.
It's like that you don't be like a smell talking about whatever you are getting, good or bad. Don't be like smell, be like the dew.
Yeah, or be like the fragrance also. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, on that note, thank you everybody for your participation today. And now you go forth and see how can you be an owl in situations where you are not being an owl. All right. So you have a blessed day and a great day, and God bless you. Enjoy. See you tomorrow morning. And thank you very much for guys who listened to my request and came before time and on time. All right. And the others can see on the YouTube what they missed. Because now I'm not waiting. I start immediately the topic. See you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye, sir.
God bless
Bye, sir.
everyone.
Have a great day, sir.
You too. Bye bye.